The hype, the anticipation for Grand Theft Auto 6 is unprecedented. This is the most anticipated game of all time. What's interesting though is that Rockstar's first trailer for GTA 6 broke all kinds of records, and it was temporarily broken by a glitched out video on Discord's app. That obviously was later fixed, but today we got all kinds of news to discuss, and including some leaked information, some coming from myself. We're going to be talking about a lot. Make sure you leave a like on the video, comment below with your thoughts about everything GTA 6, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, but let's dive into all of it. Rockstar Games, the hype for this game, like I said, it is through the roof. We even have analysts pretty much saying that this is the most important thing ever to release, and I think it doesn't take an analyst they don't need to say that for us to know that, but this is what one of them said recently to GamesIndustry.biz, Matt Piscatella, saying this is going to be a tough year, but if you look towards 2025, if interest rates come down and money becomes a little more free-flowing, devs and pubs, we should get a boost in the development cycle again. We're going to get a renewed batch of interest with GTA 6 in particular. There's probably never been a more important thing to ever release in the industry, so no pressure. And I think that is. A lot of people bringing their money into the industry, getting invested into gaming. A game like GTA 6 very much accomplishes that. It isn't just something that is going to positively affect Rockstar Games. And we've heard that as much from Ubisoft and some other publishers recently. It is good for the health of the industry that we have massive games like Grand Theft Auto 6 that exist. And Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of Rockstar Games, recently in an investor call back in February, pretty much reiterated what they've been saying for a while now, that yeah, Rockstar is seeking perfection for GTA 6, and they will release it when it's optimized creatively. And that really seems to be what's happening behind the scenes right now. A lot of work is going to be making sure that this game is polished and as good as it can be before, it gets in our hand. There has been some interesting reports coming about. We had this one. This is what a lot of people have been talking about as of late. Grand Theft Auto 6 devs hit out at Rockstar's reckless return to office mandate. So about a month ago, Jason Schreier reported from Bloomberg that, well, Grand Theft Auto 6 was nearing its final stages of development, which that is good news, but there was also some bad news that came alongside with it. We talked about this in a news video a couple days ago, but yeah, Rockstar informed staff of plans to end its hybrid working policy for productivity and security reasons, so no more work for home pretty much. Last year, unionized Rockstar workers submitted a petition with 175 signatures calling for continued remote work options in response to a mandatory transition to a 3-day office week. After so many broken promises, we now fear management may even be paving the way for a return to toxic crunch practices. Senior leadership need to rethink their reckless decision-making and engage with their staff to find an arrangement that works for everyone. And I think people really need to understand that after Red Dead Redemption 2 and even many of the other projects in Rockstar's past, there was a lot of senior veteran talent that were ready to head for the doors just because they were tired of the atmosphere, the practices that Rockstar had been conducting for so long. But Rockstar, very much right after Red Dead Redemption 2 was released, they changed drastically. And that's why there is fears that they could be going back to that. But so far, it doesn't seem to be going that far. But again, we're not right there in that, I guess you could say, that massive crunch period right before GTA 6's release that's still could be another year or so away. We'll talk more about that later. But right now, it's like just waiting to see what happens, especially internally at Rockstar Games. And that could create problems if veteran talent end up leaving before the game even releases, but we'll have to see. This article goes over, again, stuff that we've talked before, specific accounts coming from Rockstar Games developers that are very upset about the move to now having everybody back in the studio 5 days a week. And we did have this report. We talked about this also in a separate video. GTA 6's production reportedly falling behind. Rockstar urges staff to return to office to avoid delay. This Kotaku report has kind of been debunked a little bit, kind of not. We'll talk a little bit more about that with some other accounts that have come about since, but they updated the article saying Kotaku has now heard from more sources that while early 2025 was at one point possible, it is no longer the target for GTA 6's launch. However, the majority of sources were certain that early 2025 is no longer possible. Instead, the target is firmly fall 2025. And while most seem confident of hitting that date, I'm still told there is a possibility of a delay as previously reported. And what they previously reported is here, saying that they were told by sources with knowledge of the situation that early 2025 was the goal. Kotaku also learned that it's becoming more and more likely that the sequel might not land until late 2025. It's also possible that it could even slip into 2026 as production reportedly falls behind. And Insider Gaming had their own report pretty much debunking that last point, saying that development's falling behind. I have heard myself that things are moving smoothly along right now, but there are questions about how everything's going to be once, everybody's back in the studio and that remote work is no longer the thing. And Jason Schreier had a very interesting report. GTA 6 delay report spurs overblown concern. And yes, this very much affected Rockstar Games' own stock, as investors are very much paying attention to this specific game because of the amount of pressure that's on it and how massive it's going to be, the billions of dollars it's going to bring in. As Jason Schreier wrote earlier this week, shares of the video game publisher Take-Two Interactive plummeted about 5% following a report that Grand Theft Auto 6 is behind schedule and could be delayed to 2026. In reality, video games are always behind schedule and risk getting delayed at any time, especially when they're ambitious and under as much pressure as the next Grand Theft Auto. There's just so many different pieces that are a part of the puzzle of Grand Theft Auto 6, such a massive game that it makes sense that ultimately Rockstar's going to take as long as they need with the game. That is something that I've heard directly. Developers, everybody knows that they're going to get as much time as it's needed. But obviously there are goals to get this game out as soon as possible. But they're definitely not going to sacrifice quality, especially with Grand Theft Auto, especially with the hype behind this game and how important it is for the future of Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive as a company overall. Now, Schreier did have a couple of other interesting tidbits here in this article. He said thousands of people are working on Grand Theft Auto 6, many in their own silos, where they are writing code for weather physics or recording actor performances or hunting for bugs on the streets of fake Miami. Their jobs are all intertwined and dependent on one another, and a single bottleneck such as a level layout taking longer than anticipated or script pages arriving late can have cascading effects across every discipline, snowballing over time. Ironically, the new remote work policy may itself slow down the schedule. But there are rumblings across Rockstar that the unpopular move may lead to attrition and complicated logistical hurdles as staff try to coordinate with colleagues in other time zones without the benefit of virtual access. Losing key staff due to this policy could of course lead to delays. And it's also, again, just important to remember, Rockstar is a worldwide company and all of these studios are working together on Grand Theft Auto 6. Very often you see just one studio and say maybe California or maybe in Japan and stuff. They work on a game and they don't have to worry about what's going on, say, in England or what's going on in Toronto or San Diego and such. And that very much does play a factor, especially in regards to what's going on with Grand Theft Auto 6's development. It does say this, but for now, there's no indication that anything significant has changed. Even the original report from Kotaku is soft and full of caveats, which didn't stop it from having a huge impact. And that just goes to show how massive Grand Theft Auto 6 is. Now, like right now, we are sitting in, I would say, a precarious position in which we're waiting for something from Rockstar Games in terms of marketing material or just something in regards to what's going on with GTA 6. I guess the best way to describe it is that right now we are just dealing with Rockstar's silence. This was something that we experienced with Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, just extended periods of time in which absolutely nothing is coming from this company. I believe between the time that we got Red Dead Redemption 2's first trailer to the second trailer, it was like almost an entire year. And I think that was also the same case with Grand Theft Auto 5's first trailer. I could be wrong. But it is worth mentioning that I personally, this is just speculation, complete speculation. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything in regards to GTA 6 until maybe the end of summer, maybe the early fall. I think it is going to be nearly a year until we get that second trailer or really anything else out of this game. And that just is because I personally am not expecting this game until the fall of 2025. But hey, I could be wrong. That is just ultimate speculation, especially with rumblings and stuff I've heard. Nothing official though, of course, or something I am reporting. Now, there have been leaks. This is what a lot of people have been talking about the last couple of weeks. It's just uncovering things online in regards to GTA 6. And with us now having a clear idea on what the direction Rockstar Games is taking with the game, there have been some people looking back at some posts and now saying, that actually looks suspiciously correct. This is a very interesting one. Shout out to the GTA 6 subreddit, which has no love for me, but Annexus's R7, shout out to him. The mystery of user well look who's back. So a while back there was this person that predicted the song that would be used in the GTA 6 trailer before it even came out. Afterwards, some in the subreddit asked him where they got the information from, and he just pointed at their username, which was the exact quote the lady with the hammers used in the trailer. They also repeatedly said the trailer is coming out on December 6, weeks prior. Lastly, they also said the trailer was going to showcase the world and get everyone excited about the crazy stuff happening. and I think that means the TikToks and all of that stuff, the integration with social media with the next GTA game. They're very supportive of Rockstar in general and didn't leak anything crazy that might disrupt the game's development. They also are very defensive of Aaron, which is one of the executives at Rockstar Games, as the rest of the team, and regularly shit-talk the leakers. Also mentioned they will be getting the game for free. The person deleted the account shortly afterwards, but the interesting thing is they created it on November 19th, 2023, which means they must have seen the trailer at least 2 weeks before it dropped. Now, the person themselves have said the majority of employees have not seen the trailer or did not see it for fear of the song being leaked, which adds up with the devs themselves saying on Twitter that they watched the trailer for the first time when it came out. The fact that they themselves watched it, though, might even suggest he's pretty high up in the food chain. And we've already seen in the past that a Rockstar Games executive's son may have leaked some gameplay, a little bit of footage from the game. We talked about that months ago, and then obviously there's leaks a couple of years ago, so it's definitely not uncommon for stuff like this to trickle out from people connected with Rockstar Games. Now, what he says here is what gets very interesting. It's actual features and stuff that he heard about in regards to the game. He says that dual-wielding weapons is confirmed. Gore and dismemberment is in the game. There are different color sunsets, orange, purple, pinkish for Miami. There's a basketball game, 3 versus 3. This one I found a bit interesting because Rockstar Games and LeBron James hyped each other up when the trailer released. Would be cool if they used him for motion capture. It will be harder to carjack NPCs, although the leaked footage kind of hinted at that as much. The gameplay leak we saw is an old build. The game will look much better. I've said as much also in the past. And then they said something about the map, saying this is apparently nothing like the real map and no one will know what it looks like before the game comes out. Not sure exactly what he's referring to. And he thinks Jamie King's, I believe Jamie King is a former Rockstar founder. He left it years ago. He said his opinion on GTA 6 has no value and is irrelevant. And of course it is. I mean, he hasn't been at the company for years, but it still is interesting hearing from somebody occasionally with his thoughts about GTA 6, as he used to work with those guys years ago. So that is one of those insider accounts that definitely appears to be true. We'll talk a little bit more on some of the details here later on in the video. But yeah, the overall community for Grand Theft Auto 6 it's insane. It's really crazy the things they're putting together. If you don't know, with GTA 5, there was a whole mapping effort with all the trailers and everything we learned about the game, and it was almost identical to the real map by the time the game came out. And that same work is, of course, happening with GTA 6. This right now is what the GTA community believes the map is going to look compared to, well, what it's actually going to be when it releases. So this is the state of Leonida, and the one thing that the big takeaway is that this game isn't just about Vice City. It's really about that entire state, and we already kind of got that hint from the marketing materials so far with the game, and also some of the leaks here also identify Port Gellhorn. We know that's going to be a major hub within the game. Within those leaks, we saw police vehicles with it. So, of course, this is something that, of course, is going to be a major region. And so far, this leak identifies a couple of different areas in which they believe there's going to be like 5 or 6 of them. We have Vice City, we have Port Gellhorn, then this is where the theories come in. We know that the keys is going to be part of the game. They call it the Gator keys. And these little white dots here, if you're looking, I believe these are the leaked images or the leaked gameplay videos. And these are from, let's see, I think it specifically says here, yeah, the September 2022 leak positions. The positions of the players in the leaks for reference, and you can actually remove that. I will have all of this linked down below. This work is specifically coming from Dupser. He's done a lot of this stuff over the years. Shout out to him and his team, community, gamers, all of them. You can join the mapping Discord right here. But I find this work honestly insane because it's just so much extreme, small little details about Vice City and all of the identifying things. Of course, a lot of this definitely is mixed in with speculation, but there are people that right now are comparing like the size of the open world to GTA 5. So let me see. I think we have it right here. They believe it's going to be about at least 2 times the size of GTA 5, and that makes sense. The big question though is how much of like Florida are they taking inspiration from? So are we going to like get the Panhandle? And right now there does appear to be kind of a mixed consensus on that. But before we do move on to that, I just thought I'd go over a couple other parts of this. Again, all these just intricate details, and if you're looking for like what each of these colors and everything means, red is, again, speculation, buildings and stuff. All of this is just based on what we see within that first 60-second video, and of course the 90+ leaked videos that came in 2022. And I believe the yellow is buildings that were seen and stuff, and then the green is the views that we do see within the trailer. So just definitely very interesting stuff here, and it's giving us an idea on how massive of an open world this is. And I know some people were definitely concerned about that, and of course right now we don't have a great idea. I think once we get more trailers and stuff, things will start to come together to give us an even clearer idea on the map of GTA 6. And I know it's definitely some people, especially since this specific website, I'll have it linked below, shows some of the other community members having their own versions of the map. This one specifically is speculation, in which you can see right here, this individual believes that there's going to be some island areas for us to explore. That is definitely something that I'm hopeful for, especially because those early leaks that came years ago kind of indicated we would like have South America and some other island countries and stuff, and appears like a lot of that isn't there anymore, but maybe there's going to be some other, extra stuff for us to go to. Maybe some of the story intertwines with that. It'd be very interesting. It remains to be seen though for now. But specifically on the panhandle of GTA 6, this is what I mean. The GTA 6 community has been extremely busy. They're looking at cars and seeing panhandle images. Like, here we go. Possible GTA 6 map on car scene at 111 has 31 frames. I took every single one, and as you can see just a little bit maybe of the panhandle. Maybe does that mean Leonida is specifically all of Florida? Who knows? But again, other individuals have been taking pictures saying, is this the map outlines? And it could be, but there's also some individuals saying that it's just a parody of the Key West flag. So we'll have to wait. Again, we'll have to see once more material starts to come out. We'll get a better idea on the map. But I'm very excited to see the different diverse environments and stuff. I definitely think we're going to have a lot more variety within this compared to, say, GTA 5's map. And as you can see, everybody believes that down there we're going to have the Everglades and stuff like that, and then maybe some mountainous areas. And I do wonder if it's just going to come together like GTA 5's map, in which it just ends up being an island, or is it connected to something? And maybe that's something that's, further explored in expansions and stuff, because I know Rockstar Games, they want this to be another massive GTA Online experience that they can, have that recurrent consumer spending for 10+ years. And I'm sure they have some bold ideas for this one versus what they've done in the past. And as of recording this video, the mapping community actually, they seem to be sold on the panhandle being included, and thus the GTA 6 mapping project has been updated to reflect that. Now, I will move on. This is something that's been speculated endlessly about, and Troy Baker, this is something a lot of people thought that the voice of Jason sounded exactly like, and he pretty much came out and said, yeah, no, I'm not playing Jason, which never really made sense because Rockstar just doesn't go with the people that are known. They really go for those unknown actors, and that is the same case with Jason in GTA 6. We'll touch on the actual actor in a second or two, but he specifically said in an interview, he says one word, he says trust. That right there is a lesson in perception, although he did give some other lines that were identified in the leaks. I don't think Baker knows that. People think and they just automatically assume, I want that guy, whoever it is, to credit for his work because I'm sure it's going to be great. But moving along, one of the major concerns that's been lingering for a while now is the massive departures at Rockstar Games. If you're not aware, Dan Houser, founder of Rockstar Games, left about a year or two ago. He formed his own studio in which they're just kind of focused on narrative stuff, story stuff. But Dan Houser played a center role with a lot of Rockstar Games' massive experiences in the past, such as Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, Bully, Max Payne, so on and so forth. 3 out of the 4 figures that were part of the senior development team of Red Dead Redemption 2 no longer are the company, or specifically the senior development team that played a role with the narrative of the game. They're gone. Michael Unsworth left about a year ago. Leslo Jones left right around the time Dan Houser left, and all that is left, I believe, is Rupert Humphreys, who I think got promoted up. He is in charge of Grand Theft Auto 6's story stuff, and then the other writers and the other individuals part of the team, we do not know who they are yet. But what was interesting was that somebody asked, with Leslie and Dan's absence, Leslie Benzies, who left years ago, do you think Sam is able to pull GTA 6 like 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2? How's your experience working with Sam? And he was asking a former developer, a senior developer who has worked in the OG days, Ob Vermij, I I hope I'm saying that right, but he responded with a very interesting, eye-opening account. He said, "There is a new producer at North that everyone there is raving about. I forget his name. He's managing 6 together with Aaron Garbett. I'm sure they'll do a great job." So for those who have been concerned, I think that this is definitely something that is a little encouraging to hear, especially because we just have no idea about any of the behind-the-scenes stuff, especially with the specific developers that are working on the game. And that really is the case because of Rockstar's secrecy. For the last couple of years, I've known a few interesting tidbits in regards to GTA 6. As far back as 2019, I had heard the Project America's leak was real. I stated as much in a tweet in early 2020 before any of the other journalists or articles came about. Since then, I've heard other information, some of which related to the game's development, some of which in regards to prototypes that, as far as I understand, did not go anywhere, such as GTA 6 Online at one point playing around with the idea of voiced online protagonists. I've also heard, according to a reliable source, that indeed Maniel Perez is set to star as Lucia alongside Dylan Rourke as Jason, both relatively unknown young actors, which remains Rockstar's MO these days, as they notoriously do not care for big Hollywood egos. Maniel Perez previously appeared in Law & Order SVU along with Jessica Jones, and also a few years ago made an appearance in GTA Online. Here's a couple lines that the GTA community has found of her in the game.
You can't be doing that. Stop it now. Nope, you got no business here. Out now. Can you get the hell away from me? Hey, you better get out of here. Don't do nothing stupid. I'm walking away.
Dylan Rourke, on the other hand, has appeared in Grey's Anatomy and most recently in a to-be original horror film called Bury the Bride. Here's a clip from that film with Rourke speaking.
Your old Betty here's gonna die either way. But if I opt to eat her, and there's still a chance that old Betty will rise again, party in the after party.
Please, Jason.
Again with the fucking interruption! I can't stand women. What's with that?
Now, in terms of actual gameplay or story, I personally do not wish to touch much on this. Some story leaks that have spread around, as far as I understand, are true or at least aligned with what I had been told. Because this is a game in active development, a lot of things are subject to change, like Lucia having a child. That was a real leak reported by Rockstar Universe that I had heard myself, one that might be based on an earlier version of the story. It's unclear at this time if that still is in the game, as the intro of the game was reshot, according again to a source. One tweet I had given in the past, which caused a lot of uproar, was me stating that I had heard GTA 6's main story was shorter than Red Dead Redemption 2. That is indeed something I had heard last year from a source. I unfortunately added my own guesstimate, and many took that guess as me stating that this was a 40-hour story, and that just isn't what I said. Maybe tell that to the 40-year-old virgin freak admins and the Reddit anger mob, I suppose. But I will preface that you should not go into GTA 6 expecting an experience just like Red Dead 2. They both are very unique in their own right, especially in regards to their tone. I suppose that point again is more related to the story than anything else, as GTA 6 builds upon RDR2's gameplay mechanics, like hand-to-hand combat is said to be similar to how it was in RDR2, and even past leaks have indicated as much, such as not having unlimited inventory of weapons on you. Now, it does appear that Rockstar really is building this game with a goal of making the open world as interactive as they can. Some of that is in regards to things that you can do in the world. I have heard from a source that basketball is indeed set to be featured. However, I did not hear anything about it being 3v3. Another sport that was being worked on is football. My understanding is that this likely is being built with the online in mind. Now, I don't believe there's tackling or like an actual game of football, but simply you will be able to throw the ball to someone and they will be able to catch it. How this will work and in what way is not entirely clear. There have been a lot of reports recently talking about GTA 6's development and that the release date is being pushed back. I have not heard that, but I have heard that there is a belief that this game probably will be ready for fall of 2025, and that there at least right now isn't major pressure to get this game out the door. Rockstar understands the need for this to be perfect, however long it takes. For now though, things are coming together, and this project for a lot of the studio has been a breath of fresh air compared to Red Dead 2, with some genuinely happy that Dan Houser is gone. It remains to be seen if his departure will be truly felt in terms of actual quality. This was a concern some had with Leslie Benzies when he left prior to Red Dead 2's release, or a couple of years before, but that ultimately didn't seem to affect much, as Red Dead 2 has become one of the greatest games ever made. Rockstar Games recently began to tease a big summer update coming to GTA Online. According to a source, that characterization isn't really true. I did specifically ask if a Michael DLC similar to, say, Franklin's The Contract DLC was on the way, and was told that there really just isn't the resources available for something like that right now, as the tension within the company is mostly on GTA 6. There is still some very surprising surprising online stuff on the way unrelated to this DLC, you'll better understand what I mean later on in the year. But with this summer DLC and a potential Michael return, that's not to say there isn't something, you know, maybe potentially planned with Ned Luke. I genuinely don't know, but I do know there was a lot of excitement internally with when Sean Fantano was brought back, and there's been zero word of anything with this upcoming online DLC. From what I understand, the online DLC this summer was something that Rockstar moved through pretty fast. There's supposedly a lot of quality of life stuff, a couple of cutscenes, no heists, and was compared to the recent online DLC with Yusuf. Make of that as you will. Now, since we have been speaking to actors in Grand Theft Auto 6, we just have to mention this one. He is not the Jason actor. This could be the GTA 6 Jason actor. That's what Game Rant's article says. He's not. Obviously, Dylan Rourke is the individual playing the role, but what's interesting about this is that this comes from a resume which definitely seems to indicate that this individual could be playing a role within Grand Theft Auto 6, and it could be a major role. I am not familiar with this individual. I have no idea what role he could be playing, but what's eye-opening is his resume, in which before it was taken down, he had this: voiceover to be announced 2025 release. He listed himself as a lead role, and then the production is coming from Rockstar Games. This certainly could be like online related or something else. Maybe he's exaggerating his role, but a lot of people believe that he has some sort of involvement with Grand Theft Auto 6. Is he playing, you know, an antagonist or something? It is entirely possible, but his name is Gregory Connors, and he's 37 years old. We don't know much about him, but we do know once this leak started to go around, his resume popping up all over social media, he initially updated the resume to remove the lead role, and then he just took it off completely and privated the resume. So it definitely feels like Rockstar Games, or maybe his agent or somebody, got back to him and saying, hey, you have to take this down immediately. Rockstar Games still extremely strict with those NDAs, so if he is playing a major role within GTA 6, his name is something that a lot of people are going to be connecting to with all of the characters or any characters that we see in the future. But for now, it is worth mentioning he's not Jason, but he definitely appears he could be playing a role with somebody in the game. Speaking of leaks, this is a pretty interesting one. It really could be nothing, but it could be something, and there is some indication based on previous history with Rockstar Games that they might have been teasing at just small little things that we could see in GTA 6. So we have this article coming from Comic Book. GTA 6's new Banshee may be hidden in new Rockstar Games logo. So this specific logo, as that detective, this Twitter user, points out, is from the 25th anniversary artwork. I'm not sure this was some sort of event that happened internally at Rockstar Games, but this logo got out. It first appeared on the GTA forums. They identified a specific Rockstar Games developer, blaming it on them and also talking crap about the game's development and everything. There seems to be a belief that this logo is real, but the account from the individual is just being spiteful and just, it's total nonsense pretty much. But this logo, again, it's just very artistic. It's everything about Rockstar Games history honoring it. We have some bully stuff here, Smuggler's Run, there's some Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto, and specifically this down here, this vehicle right here, the new Banshee, is not something that we have not seen in GTA 5 or the online component, which is why a lot of people believe that this is maybe 6 related, which could be a stretch, could be not, but it could be a nice little Easter egg from Rockstar Games, maybe intended just for the employees of the company. Now, again, Rockstar Games, I believe this was about a year or so ago, they put out some artwork which included a mysterious helicopter in it. A lot of people were very puzzled by it because it's not a helicopter that is in, again, GTA 5 or the online component, but what this helicopter specifically does align with is helicopters that, again, this specific Miami-Dade version. So it definitely could be Rockstar Games, again, just doing these little Easter eggs in regards to GTA 6, some stuff that only die-hard fans, such as the ones that have found this, would point out. Last but not least, we have some apparent information coming from a Rockstar Games developer on Chinese social media. This individual apparently worked in the past with Ubisoft and Naughty Dog, but now they're working with Rockstar Games. They're a senior artist, and they were talking on Chinese social media, answering questions in relation to GTA 6. They didn't say anything outlandish or crazy, but, you know, considering how serious and how ironclad Rockstar is about their NDAs, this is just surprising that they were even mentioning the name GTA 6. But this individual, like I said, there wasn't anything like too massive that he revealed in these remarks, but first on GTA forums, this user ViceY City pointed all of this out, but unfortunately he used Google Translate for a lot of this, so a lot of the remarks that this individual said, this Rockstar senior artist, I take it with a grain of salt, especially with some of the points that this individual makes in this specific post. He says, the main team working on GTA 6 is still Rockstar North and other studios are just helping out. He described GTA 6 as the most impressive and advanced project he has ever seen in the 10 years of development in AAA games. He says all of the game's assets have been completed. I would assume that this is just in relation to the senior artist's department. He also said that they remain confident that GTA 6 can run 60 FPS on PS5, and I've seen some people on social media, especially those terrible GTA accounts, running wild with this remark, and if you actually look at the specific Google Translate remark, it definitely appears that's not what he was saying at all. Because in the specific tweet that this individual brings this stuff up, he's asked, can the PS5 frame rate mode be stable at 60? And again, this is Google Translate, and he says, I don't know, but we are confident. And I think that was just in relation to having good performance and such, because I don't think an artist at Rockstar Games is going to have any insight on how the game runs, or if it's going to be 60 FPS. But hey, I could be wrong. I just don't think that this individual is trying to make that point. Anyway, if it's not clear at this point, the GTA community is looking for any little bit of scraps of information in relation to GTA 6 because Rockstar is absolutely silent. This is what they're notorious for, and that will continue until that inevitable, probably, the second trailer gets announced. And hopefully we do get a more permanent date for when GTA 6 is getting released. It's just the question of when is trailer number 2 going to be coming. I know people are theorizing like it's going to be the end of April, it's going to be May. I'm just going to be honest, I don't think it's anytime soon. I think it's going to be sometime in the fall, probably close to the 1-year anniversary of the first trailer. That's just Rockstar's MO, and I don't think that's going to be changing, especially with some of the news that's been coming out the last couple of weeks in relation to the release date, which definitely feels like it's going to be probably the fall of 2025. But anyway, today we discussed a lot of GTA 6 news. Let me know your thoughts on all of it down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video or if you found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.